welcome to my masterclass. So for the next kind of 30 or so minutes, I'm going to go through some more unusual type removals and kind of bringing in some circus and trick elements. For those of you that might not have done this kind of thing before, I'm aware that most in this group will probably have done kind of basic stocking peels, glove peels, so I thought it might be nice to give something a little bit different, because I've trained in circus type skills for a few years now, and I like to think that's my kind of little niche. So let's get started. For gloves, just kind of making sure that you pinch them out a bit, so you've got something to grab onto. Okay, so first one, bit of a kind of forward bend, and it's basically just taking the glove off through the leg and then making sure that it's loose enough, and feed the hand through and grab it at the back and pull, straighten up. Do that again on the other side, so I'm kind of pinching as you would and then grabbing through. Really, you can even kind of do a bit of that if you want to, as you're a bit more cheeky than me, maybe. So that's the only one with gloves, simply because with gloves I find that easier to do in a straightforward way. I find stockings more interesting to kind of play with, just because I'm a lot better with leg flexibility than I am in other like shoulders and things like that. So if anyone has any other ideas for kind of gloves, definitely get in touch, because I would love that. Okay, so the first stocking one that I'm going to go through will be in a shoulder stand. I'll quickly go over kind of how to do a shoulder stand. So from sitting, I'll scooch up so you can see. I'm going to lie straight on my back. I have my palms flat, and then I'm going to push up using my hands. Grab just underneath my bum, and then from there try and straighten as much as possible. Okay. Eventually be able to do it with just hands on the floor. But for now, especially when you're doing the removal, but have your hands on your bum. Okay. So to actually take your stocking off in that, kind of roll it down, roll it down. You can take it to kind of just about your ankle, so you've still got a bit on, and then you're going to grab it between your big toe. In fact, it would be easier if I took the stocking off for now. So grab it between your big toe and your toe just next to it. So you're going to tuck it in like so. Yeah. So you can see that. Yeah, hopefully. And from there, what you're going to do, you're going to go up, keeping that grip, and then we're going to pull. Yeah, if it doesn't quite work, just feel free to grab it and pull from there. And it's one of them that takes a bit of getting used to. Just to go through that quickly again. I know some of you are aware that it takes longer to put clothes back on than it does to take them off. So pretend I've rolled the stocking down. I'm going to place between your toe your big toe, and toe just next to it. And from there, so keep in that grip, and then pull apart, like so. That's where you want, if you're going to make it fly forwards. If you're going to make it fly backwards, pull it that way, and it'll flip off that way. So that's that one. Next one we go through is a sort of slide into splits. Those of you that can't do splits, maybe try it into a lunge, potentially. So my best split side is my left. So I'm going to do this on my left foot. I have done this on stage using my bad split leg before. Interesting. So, standing, what we're going to do, roll your stocking down until it is just on the balls of your foot. I'm not going to be able to properly slide on this floor, but I can show you kind of the principle of it. So from here, I'm going to kind of use the chair as a way of sliding. So here, and you can naturally pull it off from there. So as long as you have it on the balls of your foot, not on your ankle, because that's the bit that you're pushing on the floor. And then just keeping hold of it and pull it as well. If you're nice controlling splits and pull. And that looks quite cool. Okay, if I keep looking down, it's because I've got my notes right here. So, next one is an overhead stocking removal. So, now a lot of you will have probably done this sort of one before, but for those of you that are maybe a bit bendy, or even not so bendy, I'll show you a couple of ways of making it look really cool. So, constantly putting stockings on, I'm sorry guys. And I apologise for the state of these, these are like my practice ones. Okay, so I'm doing this on my right leg. So we're going to go standard on the chest, roll it over, roll it down, keeping keeping it on the ankle, and then bringing it up. Now from here, you can reach, got it in your arm. If you're extra bendy, you can do it just overhead like that. That's for those that are maybe a bit more bendy, but otherwise just keep pulling it over. Yeah. So I thought like the mouth grab, it's a little bit different and pretty cool. Okay. The last one, which is stockings. I'm going to do this on my left leg again, just because it is my split leg. Again, this is another split move. For those of you that are worried, this is actually a fake split, so you can kind of fake this one till you make it. Really, it's a bit of active flexibility as well, so kind of squeezing your butt. Look, I'm going to do this one on a chair. So I'm going to sit on the chair and then leaning back, placing one hand on the floor. I'm going to bend the knee, which has the stocking that you wanted to take off. Roll the stocking down, keep it rolling, And you probably don't want this on for very long. So I would keep this on the balls of your feet. Pull, drop the stocking, and then you can pull it into proper splits, like so. Come out, bending back, and up. I'll just go over this split bit again, just in case people are wanting that. If not, I guess you can keep reminding, but for those of you, I have my hand on the corner of the chair. From there, leaning back, all the way back, butt towards the edge of the chair. Hand just by the leg of the chair. Bend that knee up. And then straighten it. As you straighten it, you twist your hips out so it looks like a fake split. And it is quite a crotchy move as well. Okay, so that's the last of the stockings that I can think of which are a bit more unusual. Again, if anyone knows any more or has any more like creative ideas, definitely let me know. I'm always up for kind of learning new ways of taking stuff. Okay, so the last kind of unusual removal that I'm going to teach is actually taking shorts off. I do have a bit of a gymnastics background as well, so I'm going to try and do this in a backwards roll. Before I do anything with the shorts, I'm going to run through backwards roll with you guys, just in case anyone hasn't done this before. So I'm going to scoot way over to this side so you can see what I'm doing, all of the way around. So I start on the back. Now the shoulder that I'm going to go over is one closest to you guys. So I'm bending the knee that's furthest away, because then that's going to give me momentum to come over this way. Yeah. And also what I do is I keep the arm that I'm going to roll over flat, planted palm down onto the ground. The one that you guys won't be seeing probably is going to be bent with kind of bent over like this way, palm flat again, or just pushing down into the floor, kind of straight but pushing down, whatever's more comfortable for you. Okay, so I'll break this down into stages. So stage number 1, pushing up to here. Yeah. Stage number 2 is then touching your foot to the floor, over your shoulder. Turning your head and keep rotating the arm. And then push up. One more time. Just in case. So we're here, palm flat, we know which shoulder we're going over. Up, and over, and push. Okay, so incorporating shorts into that, what we're going to do, from kneeling, roll the shorts down to your knees, and once they're on your knees, down onto the floor, bringing them down to your ankles, sliding. I'm going to slide so you can see where the shorts kind of go. So from here, again, you need to give it a bit of welly for the shorts to actually move. If you do it really slow, they don't tend to move as far. So, and just to say, I am wearing a pair of like safety knickers on underneath. These are not my knickers. So from here, up and over. As you see the shorts, they naturally flick off your feet as you come over, If you're wearing heels and they get stuck on your heels, what you can do is when you're bending up, grab back and take them off and then push. Okay. I'll show you that one again, just in case you want another recap. Shorts back on. Again, dressed and undressed. Okay, so here again. Now start taking shorts down to your knees, and then bring it down onto the floor, then to your ankles, or kind of over your feet. So then, as you can see, they're ready to just hang off. And then from there, up and over. I'll try and do it slow so you can see the difference. But not too much, just they didn't fly as far. And again, from here, if they get stuck on your heels, push, grab them off, and then keep going up. So that is all of the removals that I was going to talk you through. If there's any more that people want kind of advice with or anything like that, feel free to message me. I'm on Instagram, I've got my Facebook page. So yeah, I'm always open for chats. Okay, so on to the questions. I have all the questions written down that was sent just before I started recording this. So if I missed any, I'm really, really sorry. Feel free to message me and I will answer them for you. So, question number 1 comes from Diva. And she's asked, how do you warm up before a show? Several ways. It depends on if I've got a long time to warm up or if I have to be quite quick, and also how much of my costume I already have on. Some stretches I find like really, really difficult in a corset. I'm sure you guys can imagine. I thought the main ones that I tend to do for warming up, because I do mainly splits and like both front and box splits in my acts. I'll do quite a few lunges, so just to like quickly warm up, kind of to here. And then what I'll also do is I'll come down onto my elbows and try and get my shoulder underneath my arm, so to here. I find that's a really, really quick way of warming up for front splits. I apologise, I'm still doing some knickers. So from there, I'm pushing back, and that does your hamstring. And if you want more, pull it across, your body across. So that's how I would quickly warm up for front splits. For middle splits, I do what's called a frog stretch. So my feet are at 90 degrees, yeah, and from there, just going as low as you can. I tend to come onto my elbows, making sure that your hips are directly in line with your knees. If you're too far forward, like this, it will be far too easy for you. So this is about right for me. And to warm up even quicker, gently rock forwards and back. Going forwards feels easy. Going backwards, you can feel that pinch and you can feel it warming up. Those are the main sorts of stretches that I'll do. I will bounce in lunges as well. Apart from that, I just try and keep myself generally warm, kind of dancing, moving around. So yeah, if you see me like jumping around a lot backstage, it's either A, I'm nervous, or B, I'm trying to keep warm. So, what exercise, again from Diva, what exercise program would you suggest to those who might be starting out and have low fitness levels? Again, it depends what you want. If you're after flexibility, I would say start with yoga. That's really nice and gentle. Aerial yoga is actually quite interesting as well, like aerial hammocks and things like that. It gives you a bit more kind of strength and resistance as well as flow work. Pilates, I'd say, is good for strengthening as well. The one exercise I found that I actually kind of stuck with was, as you can guess, because I am filming this in a pole studio, is pole dance. When I first started, it did have a bit of a stigma, but from then it seems to have gone a lot more mainstream. You might be able to see an aerial hoop in the background as well, kind of over here. Again, that's another thing that I took up after I took up pole. Running, again, that's another good one for strength and resistance. Just be careful of your knees, properly warm your knees up before you do any sort of running work, because it will hammer your knees. And especially if you're one of those on stage that does a lot of kind of floor work, knee work, protect those. Okay, another question from Diva. Do you tinker with your gloves, stockings or shoes to take them off easier when using bends? With shoes, the only thing that I make sure is that I can slip them off easily, and also that I can balance in them, or that I have something to lean on. I have done removals kind of in bends with 7-inch heels. Do not recommend unless you have a chair. In terms of gloves, again, I don't really know many ways of taking these off in bends, but the only way that I would kind of tinker with them is just kind of making sure that you pinch them enough so that you've got enough room that they easily slide. These ones that I'm demonstrating in are actually quite slidey, so that's okay. If you're going to do like a thigh pinch, so kind of like this, just making sure that you've got enough of the glove free to grip. I found that one is hit or miss for me, but I would kind of trace up and then kind of bite it as a plan B. So that's the only ways that I really tinker with gloves, is just kind of making sure there's enough give in them. And you can even play with like kind of stretching them, just to give an idea. With stockings, again, kind of just give them an old stretch, see how stretchy they are, see how much give they have in them. That's the main thing with stockings. Like the first time you try a pair on, they might be like stretchier than you're thinking, or they won't really give you much. And it also, that changes the more you practice and wear them. So again, just kind of testing that. If there's a removal that you're kind of worried about, I would actually do it in your costume backstage, just so you know that when you hit that stage, it is going to work how you think. For all removals, I do tend to have a plan B if it fails. If it works, brilliant. I tend to find they don't every single time I perform it. So kind of think of a plan B, what would look nice out of it, keep your shape, and just keep that routine going. Don't stall being like, oh, this isn't working. No, just keep it flowing. That's my best advice, I think. Okay, next one from Joe Court. I have a dodgy knee. It gets quite tight and I have to stretch it to make it click so I can move my leg properly. I love to do more choreo, which involves being more flexible, but I'm afraid to hurt my knee anymore. Can I become more flexible, or am I just broken? Joe, you're not broken. Bless you. So what I would say with that is kind of start off really lightly, doing kind of yoga and things like that, just general sort of flow. The more you kind of do that, the more naturally flexible you're going to get. anything that will help strengthen that joint as well. So maybe like Pilates and things like that might be a good one. So yeah, anything like that, I would just work on strengthening the joint more than making it more flexible, work on strength and control of it. A similar question that I sometimes get asked is like, kind of, am I too old to start? I'd say never. You're never too old. Stretch and flexibility, for me, it's about dedication. The more committed you are and the more routine you have, the more you're going to see progress. So if you only did kind of splits training once a week or something like that, you're not going to see as much progress as if you did it 2 times a week, 3 times a week. It's kind of dedication and routine as well. Like if you stop doing it for ages, you are going to lose a bit. So it is a difficult journey, and it is dedication, but you can do it at any age, I would say. Just kind of be careful, keep your joints strong, and don't over push it. The last question that I have is from Ula Pearl. I hope I'm saying that right. What are the worst mistakes you see being made when it comes to stocking and glove removal? I wouldn't necessarily say mistakes. Again, sometimes it just doesn't happen. Especially like thigh pinch and removals, kind of like that. Sometimes it's just the glove is not having it and it just does not want to come off. I sometimes get it in a shoulder stand, as you guys saw earlier, where it kind of just hangs there, it doesn't want to. So the worst mistake I can see is kind of not carrying on, or kind of just stopping and being like, oh, this has gone wrong. No, I don't know what I'm doing now. So just as long as you keep it flowing, as long as you have a plan B, and you just keep it going, don't keep your poker face, don't let the audience know, just keep smiling and just going with it, and then yeah, you should be fine. Like the worst mistake I can see is kind of letting the audience know that something has gone wrong, unless you're comedy burlesque and you want to make something of it like that, then go for that. Just, yeah, incorporate it. Don't stop and make it really, really obvious that was not supposed to happen. That's kind of the best advice I can give you with that, I think. So yeah, I think that was everything that I was asked. So if there's any other removals that people can think of or they want a hand with, feel free to let me know. Apart from that, I hope you guys found this useful, and hopefully you'll be trying some of this out, and that would be amazing to see. Thank you so much, Diva, for letting me do this. Hopefully the lighting was okay, just being in the studio. I have got the studio lights on, but yeah. Thank you, guys.